Okay, guys, this is Monday, November 17th, and if you were here Friday, you need to make sure that you get this packet, the Writing Linear Equations from Situations to Graph. If you were not here Friday, you need to watch the previous video, but if you are here Friday, this is the video you should be watching first. So we talked about writing a slope-intercept form from a situation. This page just kind of broke it down for you. On writing a slope-intercept form, our slope is the conservative change. What happened every single hour in this scenario? Greta was running a studio to use the equipment for making pottery, but then she had a membership fee of $15 once a month. So our equation to figure out how much she's going to pay in a month, depending on the amount of hours, which was X, Y was your total cost, was you're going to multiply 3 times the amount of hours worked plus 15. And you guys did that very well. Then we figured it from a graph. And you had to look at the graph in order to get this information. Now, in this case, we changed our slope to money because it made more sense to say it's $1.25 per DVD rental than saying 5/4 of a dollar. And then you have to pay an $8 one-time membership fee. Then you worked on your own with the gift card. So you could really write it either way. This is really the slope-intercept form. But logically, if you think about it, you're going to start with a $25 gift card, and you're going to subtract $2.50 each time you buy that medium coffee. Okay? All right, so here's where you should be starting today. Write an equation from a description. So I'm going to pause and take a moment once you take a moment to read this information, look at this information over here to decipher some details that you're going to need. So pause me because I can't pause this video when I record. Okay, welcome back. The rent charge for the space in the office building is a linear relationship related to the size of the space rented, meaning it's a linear, so it's going to be the same rate of change every single time. Also, the size of the space, the larger the size of the space that you're renting, hold on, I'm going to move this, the more it's going to cost, and that's just logical. Write an equation in slope-intercept form to represent the rent for the West Main Street office rentals. Now, slope-intercept form, remember it is y equals mx plus b. So think about what's happening here. Y is going to be your total cost to rent office space at the West Main office rentals. M is your slope, the conservative change. X is the amount of probably months that you're going to rent this place. And then B is your y-intercept. Like, is there a fee that you have to pay to rent this place besides the rent? Okay, so maybe a one-time application fee. Sometimes they do that, a background check, things like that, just to make sure you're a good renter and that you will pay your bills on time. All right, so let's look at what's happening here. Our monthly rate is 600 square feet for $7.50 or 900 square feet for $11.50. So what I would do there is I would set up a table. And setting up a table will help you then find the slope and then possibly your y-intercept. So go ahead and pause, set up a table with this information. All right, so here's the table. See, I already did this video once and I had to redo it, so this is why it's written on here already. So our X, our input, is the amount of square feet that we're going to rent. And our Y is the total cost. So at 600 square feet, our total cost was $7.50. Then at 900 square feet, our total cost was $11.50. Once we have at least 2 pieces of information like that, we could find the slope. So finding the slope is the change of Y over the change of X. So from X values, they go up 300. The Y value they go up 400. So the cost is going up 400 for every 300 of square feet that we rent. So your change of Y over your change of X is going to be 400 over 300. Now we can simplify that because you can divide each by 100. So our slope is going to be 4 over 3, which that means for every 3, since we divided by 100, for every 3 square feet, it's going up $4. Okay, so our slope is 4/3. So we have y equals y equals 4/3 x plus b. All right, Well, in this case, we don't know what the b is. We don't know where we're starting. It's not in a table. And what's happening here, if your y-intercept, in order to find the y-intercept from a table, your x value has to be 0. So you can do this one of two ways. Look at your table. For every 300 is going up, this is going up 400. So what happens so if you think you know what to do, go ahead and pause and see if you are correct, which I'm sure you probably are. I'm going to make a table much larger. Well, I don't need it that large. Okay, so my x was 600, 900, 750, and 1150 for my y's. If it's going up by 300 each time, and this is going up 400, what about, look at this nice number, 600. What happens if you subtract 300? What do you get? 300. And then you subtract 300 again, there's your 0. Your x is now 0. So if that's going down by 300 each time, this is going down by 400 each time. So 750 minus 400 is 350. And then 350 minus 400 is going to be, that's going to be a negative 50. Okay, so our b is a negative 50. Our y-intercept is being a negative 50, which in this case, you're subtracting $50. So let's talk, now I'm curious of why we're going to be subtracting $50, but mathematically that's what you're doing. 4/3 x minus 50. Okay, so what this is representing, I'm trying to think, really, unless they gave like a $50 discount, because you're not starting at $50 once, you're actually subtracting 50. So maybe they're saying, like, maybe it's a special or something, $50 off to rent this place. This is the only thing I can think of in this scenario. Now, 4/3 would mean if we want to figure out how much it's going to cost us for that month, how much it's going to cost, for 800 square feet. Or actually, I would pick a number, maybe 1,200 square feet. 1,200 square feet. So here's your equation in this situation. Let's look down at reflect. Without graphing, tell whether the graph of this equation rises or falls from left to right, and how does the sign of the slope mean in this context? What is the sign of the slope? Well, without graphing, because I don't want you to graph these points, look at your slope. It's positive. So from left to right, the slope is positive. So it's going to rise. The slope is going to rise from left to right. What does the sign of the slope mean in this context? Well, the sign means as the square feet increase for rental space, so will the price. As the square feet increases, so does the price. All right. Okay, so let's look at 130. If I'm going too fast, pause it. Okay, go ahead and pause and actually stop this video because I think it's getting a little long, and try the your turn and then the guided practice. And then check in with the next video and I'll give you the answers to the your turn and the guided practice.